the video I've been wanting to film for so long, it is not even funny. I finally updated my phone to the new iOS 18, and when I tell you guys there's so many cool waited for features that I've been waiting for so long, I am so excited to start this video. So with all that being said, let's hop right into it. The first thing I obviously need to talk about is how to actually download iOS 18 on your phone. So I do want to make the disclaimer that I am currently using the iOS 18 beta 6 version. I do download the beta versions just so I can prepare these videos earlier for you guys, learn the new features, and actually put a lot of time into the editing and make the video look really cool rather than rushing it on the day that iOS 18 comes out. I only did download it today, but as of right now, I do not see any problems with the beta version. But please keep in mind that I am not telling you to download the beta version. This is just what I did. It is the beta version and there could be complications that come with it, so please keep that in mind. I believe the original iOS 18 public version comes out on September 16th of 2024. But if you are someone who wanted to download the beta version, you can go on Apple's website, type in iOS 18 beta, and it'll walk you through the steps. But if you're watching this when iOS 18 actually does come out, let me screen record this for you guys. All you're going to do is you're going to go to settings, you're going to click general, and then you're going to click software update, and when there's a new update, it will pop up for you in your updates. You just click update, allow it to do its thing, and then your phone will be updated. So now that that's been said, let's talk about the actual new features of iOS 18. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is the home screen. There is a lot of new customizations to the home screen that I cannot wait to show you, and I feel like this is something that so many people have been waiting for, especially myself. So this is what we're going to start with. Apple now gives you the ability to move your apps anywhere on the screen without automatically pushing the app next to the last app installed on your phone. And what I mean by this is if you go to rearrange your apps, instead of moving it and it dragging it back up here, you can actually move your apps wherever you want on the screen. So let's say you wanted your apps to look like this. That is now an option that Apple allows you to do. And let's say you wanted this ghost one here, you can actually move all your apps to be around this widget, which I think is really cool and something I honestly did not think that Apple was going to allow us to do, because I feel like a lot of people have been wanting it for a while. One thing I will say is based off of doing this, I don't think the widgets will actually allow you to put it in the middle. I think the widgets are still going to be annoying, but at least the app icons can actually be moved wherever you want them without just being rearranged to its default setting. And I think something that's really cool about this is going to allow seeing the background of your home screen so much easier, because you can really take time and customize your iPhone based on your home screen and how much of your home screen you want to see. So that's the first thing that Apple came out with that I think is really cool. The next thing we have to talk about is the colors for the home screen. So as you would normally do, you can hold down your screen and click the edit button at the top. As usual, we're going to see add widget. That's been there for a while. Something new we're going to see is the customize button. So if we click customize, there's this new little dock section that comes up on the bottom. And the first one I want to mention is now we have the option to change the size of our apps. So we can either have them small or large. If you do choose to have them in the large version, the app names will go away. But if you want it in the small version, which is the default version, all of the app names will reappear. Another cool thing is now the ability to change your phone from light mode to dark mode very easily. So you can just hit this sun in the corner and it'll change your phone back and forth really whenever you want. Another thing I want to talk about is now you can also click on the light, dark, automatic, and tinted version. So if you wanted your phone in dark mode, you can just click dark and it'll change it right away. So you don't have to go into settings to be able to do it. Another thing you can do is turn on automatic, so your phone will automatically switch from light to dark mode, I believe, when it's morning and nighttime outside. And then the number one thing that I'm excited for is the tinted version. So if you click the tinted version, Apple now gives us the ability to change the colors of our apps to whatever we want, and it's really cool. So you can drag this little icon on the bottom and it will change your apps to literally whatever color you want. So my theme right now is a fall theme, so let's say I wanted to make it more based on the actual colors of my home screen. What I'm going to do is I'm going to reset it, turn my phone back to light mode, click tinted, and I'm going to hit this drop pin button right here, and it's going to allow me to choose the color from my home screen that I actually want my apps to be. Then when I go into my home screen, my apps are going to be that color. Now personally, I'm not the biggest fan of how this looks because it does change the color of your widgets, which isn't my favorite. I don't necessarily love how the apps look here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into edit and I'm going to choose a different color that I think will better match my theme. So let's say I wanted to do a pink version, but I wanted it to be a little bit more of a light pink. I can make it the theme of my phone, but with more of a pink hue. And personally, I think that looks so much nicer, so much cleaner, and I do really like it. The next thing I wanted to talk about for the home screen is the small animations that come with your phone. So whenever I used to pull up the volume on my phone, I would just click the volume button and the little volume sidebar used to come out. But if you look very closely, now there's both. So first there's a little animation on the side, and then the volume up button comes. And it's the same thing with volume down. The animation comes and then the volume button comes. Then if I do the same thing with turning my phone from silent to ringer, it does the same thing where it switches at the top, but there's also a little button that puts the ringer on and it animates on the side, which I thought was something really small, but something cool as well. Now moving right along from the home center, we are going to talk about the control center. If I scroll down, the control center looks completely different, and it's actually something that I think I'm going to really like. So there's 3 different pages of the control center now. There's a main page, a music page, and then the control center page. So I have the main page right here. If I swipe down, I have my music page, and then I have the actual control center. Something that I think is really cool and nifty is that you can actually add new controls. So if you hit the plus button on the top, it allows you to drag your controls to wherever you want. So kind of like how you would move a widget or an app on the original page, you can drag these controls and really customize it to your liking. And another cool thing is you can take away controls, but you can also add in controls. So if you click add control on the bottom, it gives you all of these different options of controls that you might want to add onto your phone. So for example, they have a timer control. If you wanted to add that, you can just click it and it'll add right here in the bottom. And you can also change the order of all the controls as well, which I think is going to be really, really useful, especially if you take time and organize the controls how you would really use them. The next control page we have is our music page. It is a cool control that I think will definitely be useful in the future. And then we have this page right here. So this is more of the controls that I would use all the time, and this is what I would call the actual control page. Something really cool about this is you can change the size of the controls. So in order to do that, let's say you wanted to add a control here as well, we can add the little camera, and I can drag this and make it into basically any size I want. So it could be a rectangle, it could be a square, and I can really customize the control center that way as well. Personally, I probably will leave it like that, but I think that that's a really cool option depending on how many controls you want in your control center. Next thing we're going to talk about is the new lock and hide your apps feature. So for this, we're going to have to go into settings, and you are going to go to passwords. Now, the one thing you do want to make sure is that your passwords and your Face ID is turned on in order to do this. Once you make sure that your Face ID and your passwords is on, something that I think is amazing now is we now have the ability to lock our apps. So for the purpose of this video, I'm just going to quickly move all of these back because I'm going to make a whole customization video of how I'm going to customize using iOS 18, because it definitely takes me a while. So this is kind of just an informative video. But to actually lock your apps, what we are going to do is hold down and you're going to click the require Face ID button. When this comes up, you're going to hit require Face ID. It's going to scan your face, or it'll ask you for your password. And now whenever you click that app, it is going to ask you to unlock your phone. I don't know why my Face ID isn't working right now, but if that happens, you can just type in your password and then it'll open the app for you. And that's basically just so if you don't want anyone having access to your passwords folder or a certain app on your phone, you can lock it and not have to worry about someone going into that app if you didn't want them to. And to turn it off, you would just click don't require Face ID. Something else that I think is really cool is with any app that is downloaded from the App Store, you can also hide it. So let's say I wanted to hide this app right here. This option called hide and require Face ID comes up. You would just click that and it would automatically hide the app. And if you ever were looking for that app, it goes to this hidden folder down here. And to get into that, you would have to do your Face ID or your password again, and then it'll allow you to go into that app and see the apps in that folder. And that's something I thought was really cool as well. Next, we're going to talk about the new passwords app. So this is automatically downloaded on your phone when you download iOS 18. I think that this is a really cool feature because it's a new app that really allows you to store your passwords in a safe place. Like I said, you can lock that app so that no one else has access to it. It will also pick up any Wi-Fi that you have used in the past and automatically tell you that password if you just click on the Wi-Fi, which is really cool. You can also add in passwords that you want to store there. And another cool thing is it will also tell you if any of your passwords have been compromised and you need to change your password. The next thing we're gonna talk about is the new eyes feature. So if you go into settings again and you go to accessibility, there is a new eye tracking button. So if you go here, it says eye tracking, you just turn eye tracking on and it's gonna ask you to follow the dot with your eyes as it moves around on the screen. So literally, whoa, that is so cool. Oh my gosh. Wait, what? Basically, all you're gonna do is follow the dots and then it will track your eyes and select things from where your eyes are looking. So let's say I wanna go back. It will select whatever I look at, which is something that's so cool. I do think that this could get annoying. So if you did wanna turn it off, you can just turn it off here and it will automatically just stop doing that if that is not something you wanted your phone to do. But I do think it's a cool feature that I wanted to talk about. The next thing I wanted to talk about is the focus center. So this is actually not something that's new, but I do think it's cool and I do get a lot of questions on it. So as you guys can see, I have the time at the top and then I have a little heart icon next to that. Basically, all I did to add that was I click on my focus center in the control center and I clicked on new focus. You just choose the type of focus that you want. So for me, I chose custom. I chose the color and then I chose the little icon that I wanted. If you just scroll down to the heart, which is somewhere in here, or did they update it? Well, for the purpose of this video, let's just say I wanted it to be a star. You would click on the star, you would title it, hit next, and you would go through the customize focus, and then you would be able to really customize your focus settings and choose who you wanted to be able to contact you while you're on that focus. Another cool thing I wanted to talk about is also in settings, and this is about music. So if you go to music, and I believe this is only with Apple Music, there's something called music haptics. You click that, and if you turn it on and go to Apple Music on your phone, and you play a song, your phone will vibrate to the song. So I'm gonna mute the audio, but watch my phone. It's connected to my headphones, but my phone is vibrating, and if I wanted to turn it off, you just click music haptics, and then it pauses the vibration, but it is something that's really cool. Like I was saying, it is only with Apple Music right now. It's not with Spotify, but maybe in the future it will be. The next thing we're gonna talk about is again in settings, and this is a vocal shortcut. So if we type in vocal and we go to vocal shortcuts, this is another cool thing that just creates a shortcut. So you click it, and let's say you wanted to take a screenshot. You're going to hit continue, and I guess it would be Siri. Screenshot, snap, snap, snap. And then it takes a screenshot. And I think that is so cool because it's just something where all I have to do is say snap, and it takes a screenshot, which I think is amazing. Something else that's really cool is the new flashlight. So if we go down here and we click the flashlight, it is still a flashlight, but it does give you the ability to make it wider or narrow. So if I go up, I don't know if you guys can see, but it does make my flashlight wider. And then if I drag it in, it does make it narrow. And I think that's really cool. And another thing that's really cool is if you turn the flashlight off now, it just doesn't turn off, it dims down, which I thought was really cool as well. The next thing I want to talk about is the lock screen. So if I scroll down on the lock screen, something that's really cool, if I click this and I hit customize, now you can customize the control centers on the bottom. So if I didn't want this to be flashlight, I can customize it and make it something else. And all you would do is click the minus and then you add, and let's say you wanted it to be a timer instead, you can click timer and then it'll automatically bring you to that app instead of the flashlight, which I think is really cool. Next, we're going to talk about messages. So if I go into messages, I am just going to do my mom. The number one thing I wanted to talk about here is that there is a new send later button. So if I click send later, there is a time where I wanted it to send. So let's say I wanted to say something to my mom tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. I can type the message as what I wanted it to say. So let's say, good morning, love you. I click send, and then tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. it's going to send good morning, love you. Basically what this does is it's a really good reminder thing. So let's say your friend's birthday's coming up, you're not gonna have time to text them in the morning. You text the message the day before and you set it to send at a certain time, it'll automatically send. I think this is a really good way to not forget to do things or to pre-schedule messages you know you're going to have to send. The last thing I wanted to talk about is photos. Photos is very different. I am not the biggest fan of it, but there is a way to change it. If you scroll all the way down to the bottom, there's this customize and reorder, and it really allows you to customize the way your photos look, and you can get rid of stuff, you can add stuff, and I think that's something that will really help. Not the biggest fan of photos. I don't know that much information about it yet, but just wanted to touch on that as well. There's one more thing I forgot to talk about, which I'm going to touch on really quick. Calculator has a new update. So when you open it, it looks like a normal calculator the way it was, but there is this new calculator icon on the bottom left. If you click that, there's now a scientific calculator. There is now a math notes calculator, which I think is really cool. And you can also change it back to the basic calculator as well. And I think that's going to be really helpful for school and work. That is basically everything that I know about iOS 18. I'm very excited to play around with these features and really allow myself to learn more about iOS 18, and then I'll do a whole what's on my iPhone using iOS 18. I think it's going to be really cool. If you stayed up until this point of the video, comment this emoji down below, and I hope this video helped. Let me know if it did, and I'll see you guys really soon in my next video. Bye.